Hello and welcome to Whiskey with Rye. I'm Rye, and the whiskey I'm with today is Four Roses Single Barrel. Here on Whiskey with Rye, we'll talk about the distillery, the mash bill, the nose and taste three different ways: straight, with water, and on the rocks. So, to surprise no one, this is out of the Four Roses distillery, and it is their B mash bill, as this specific bottle is the OBSV mash, which is 60% corn, 35% rye, and 5% malted barley. This is also a single barrel strength, so that's going to come in at 58.4% alcohol, which is 116.8 proof. So it's pretty high proof. But that comes from being a single barrel strength. So if something is barrel strength, it's going to not be cut with water to lower the proof. So you're going to get a lot more punch, but it also means you're normally going to get a lot more flavors out of it as well. I will say, as you can tell, I have enjoyed this bottle quite a lot. It is a store pick from my favorite liquor store around me. And it's also the most surprising bottle I've ever had. The main reason being, when I did the whiskey trail, the bourbon trail, Four Roses was the absolute least favorite of all the distilleries that I visited. I didn't like any of their stuff. If you've had Four Roses Yellow Label, it's kind of a budget bourbon, or at least it used to be. I haven't gotten into it again. So when this came up for offer at my local store, I had to jump on it just because it has Charlie Brown and Snoopy on the side, and it was about pets. So yeah, so bought it. It was a little pricey, about $75, I want to say. Cracked it open, enjoyed the hell out of it. Even blind tasted my buddy, who also wasn't a fan of Four Roses, and he loved the hell out of it. So yeah. So again, it is barrel proof, barrel strength. Um, yeah. So let us jump into the nose and taste, and it is 9 years and 4 months. Just FYI. Cool. So again, as always, we're going to pour a straight pour first, and then we'll pour some for a rocks pour later. As you can see, I am using a Glencairn, and this is more than I needed to pour for this. But that should be about an ounce and a half pour. And I like using Glencairns. We'll actually use that for my rocks pour. How about that? I like using Glencairns because of the closed mouth on the glass. So what that does is it traps all the scent notes, like everything you're going to smell when you smell the glass. It's going to trap that and keep it so it doesn't disappear on you like it would if you're using a rocks glass or anything like that. That's better. So yeah, so that's why I like Glencairns. It's also extremely easy to tell how much, once you get used to it, how much whiskey you're pouring into the glass. So that's why I stick with Glencairns. So this will be our straight pour as well as our pour with water. So let's jump into the nose, right? And so you'll also notice that I swirled the glass. This is to kind of activate the whiskey a little bit, aerate it so that the scents that are from the different oils in the whiskey are going to activate, and I'll be able to capture them a little bit more. So as this is a barrel strength, the first thing you're going to be punched by in the nose is definitely that alcohol smell. But once you work past it, which may take a couple times, so don't get discouraged if it does. Since this is a higher rye bourbon than a lot of them, you're definitely going to get those herbal notes like pepper. There's some fruit in there as well, like again, like a Granny Smith apple fruit, not like a pit fruit, like a cherry or something like that, but more like a Granny Smith apple. Some cinnamon and definitely some caramel on there as well. My mouth is watering already. I'm so excited for this. All right. So, cheers, and let's jump into the taste. So you definitely get some heat just because of the high proof of the whiskey, but you also get a really nice sweetness through it. Not quite like white sugar, and not even quite like caramel, but it's a little more savory sweet, if that makes sense. I've heard people refer to it like a teriyaki sauce is sweet but savory, and something along those lines. And there's definitely an herbal note at the end. It's almost a mint finish on this one. I have to go back in for more. On second, going back for more, you definitely pick up the pepper from the rye, and maybe even a little bit of like fresh cut grass on the taste, which doesn't sound appetizing, but it actually works in this, which is weird to say. But yeah, I enjoy the taste of fresh cut grass, right? And on the third sip, a lot more caramel sweetness to that, like a milk caramel. So no, that again, probably one of the most surprising bottles that I own, but definitely enjoy it. So, and actually, since we poured our whiskey, since I know people would like to see the bottle a little more often, we'll put that there. And until I can get a different setup, which hopefully I will at some point, that'll be where I put the bottle that I pour. So for now, let us jump into the water and the ice. So for the ice, as always, have my handy dandy Yeti here. Crack that bad boy open. Put an ice cube in, and we'll see if the dog wants one. Okay. Yep. All right, cool. Maybe not this time. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit of water. So again, we're proofing down the whiskey with the water. It will tame that alcohol taste just a little bit. And then also it'll encourage other flavors to come forward. So just give that a good swirl. Just let that water get in there. Let it sit a little bit. As it sits, we'll try the nose with the water as well. So with the water, I would say a little more of the pepper comes through. Like fresh cracked black pepper, like on a Caesar salad or something like that. The sweetness is tamed down. I definitely prefer the nose without the water. It's got a lot more going on. Whereas with the water, it's just kind of subdued and, as you might expect, watered down, right? So let's jump into it. So with the water, the wood from the barrel is a lot more present and kind of hits you right on the front end. And then the wood mellows out and goes into a nice sweetness. Again, kind of like that caramel, like a nice thick caramel. Not like the craft caramels that you get wrapped in the plastic, but like a homemade caramel. I would also say that this whiskey, even watered down, has a almost a thickness to it, like a nice olive oil as opposed to like a canola oil or something like that. It definitely coats the mouth and sticks with you for a little bit. And that stick with you is more of the sweetness and a little bit of the pepper, but none of the alcohol really stays with you. But no, that's still really nice with the water. I still prefer it straight, but with the water, it's really nice as well. So all right, so now again, just proof that. Sorry, I checked the camera. Proof that the ice is in there. And this is water. This is watered down on the nose even more than just with the straight water. So the nose is a lot more subdued. Faint hints of the caramel or butterscotch almost at this point, but none of the herbal is really coming through. but a lot of caramel. Very, very heavy on the caramel on the nose. Let's see what it does on the taste. A lot of black pepper. The very first taste was butterscotch, and then it changes really into black pepper heavy. So that rye with the rocks or with the ice is really punching through now. So you kind of mellowed out the corn, you mellowed out the barley. Not that there was too much barley in it anyway, but now that rye is really shining through. And with the ice, the mouthfeel is almost like chewing a caramel. Like as it's kind of melted in your mouth, and it's almost a liquid, but not quite. That's kind of the mouthfeel that I'm getting from it. But again, that caramel is really standing out. I like it better with the ice than I do just with the water, at least on the taste. Prefer the nose with the water to the ice, but straight, I think, is the way to go with this one. And yeah, it's just that very rye forward on the rocks. Very peppery, very almost savory, like peppered meat, like peppered jerky or something like that. Um, which is probably the oak from the barrel that's really shining through. But no, I mean overall, I think I would go on taste. I would go straight on the rocks and then watered. So that has been the Four Roses Single Barrel Strength OBSV, and this has been Whiskey with Rye. And until next time, cheers.